Alright guys, so today we're going to be reacting to 45% of women will be single and childless by 2030. That is a very, very, very high number. Way too high. That means that there's going to be a population decrease. And I'm imagining this is only in the Western world. Not only in the United States, because the Western world has mostly the same culture. So we're gonna react with this lady. Make sure that you show her some love in the description down below. With that, let's just jump in.
Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Courtney Ryan, and today we're going to be talking about the rise of single women. So I've done a lot of videos on my channel, or a handful of videos on my channel, about the rise of lonely single men, because it's something that's been covered by the media extensively, no surprise there. So 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030, which is wild when you think about it. That's almost half of women. So I started doing research for this, and before I get into kind of the meat and potatoes of the video, I want to point out something that I thought was kind of funny. So I come across this article on Psychology Today called "The Rise of Empowered Single Women," and it's
Look at that title. The rise of empowered single women. Look at that title, bro. That is so... It's like literally taking a gun and shooting yourself in the foot.
the response article to the article about lonely single men. And I just pulled up both of those headlines, both of those, article titles, and I put them next to each other. And I just sat back and I looked at them for a minute. And I'm like, wow. It's kind of crazy that anytime in our society where, a man is single, it's automatically assumed that he's lonely, the rise of lonely single men. It's always men do better, men do this. I did a whole video reacting to that article. If you didn't watch that, be sure to go watch it so you guys can kind of see what I thought about it, because I don't think it's all men's fault, just to long story short here. But then anytime a woman is single nowadays, it's always the opposite. So it's
empowered.
The rise of empowered single women. It's always positioned more as a choice for women of like, oh, they're empowered, they're single, they're choosing to be that way because they're empowered. But for men, it always is painted in a light where it's like incels, or guys who just can't get women, or guys who need to step up and do better and do X, Y, and Z in order to, get one of these empowered single women to like them. And while of course it might be true for, some people, it's definitely not the reality for everyone. There are a lot of men who are happily single, and a lot of women.
Let's speak in generalities, okay? Not not everything is 100% generalities.
Who are lonely as well. So I just thought it was kind of interesting how our society, paints men and women who are single in very different lights at this point in time. So if a man is single, it means he's lonely, and if a woman is single, it means she's empowered. Okay. So I wanted to read just a little bit of this article to you, just so you guys can kind of get an understanding of what I'm talking about. It says, as a single person in her 30s, a therapist, and an author whose work centers around dating and healthy relationships, I am grateful for the culture shift towards healthier relationship standards that Matos described in his article.
What?
Until recently, modern dating has been imbalanced. Women have been socially programmed to believe their value and worth are conditional and reflected by their relationship status. Media, including dating self-help literature, has played a big part in this, encouraging women to change various aspects of themselves, personality, physical appearance, communication style, to be more desirable to men. Well, there's also a ton of content out there for men that's the same thing. In my work, I've seen this social programming impact women.
Well, we saw it already in the last video with Matthew. I mean, you're paying thousands of dollars, I can guarantee, for a seminar like that, to get back what you already have years ago when you were younger. So now we're in the position that you're in your late 20s, 30s. We saw some 40s and 50s. They don't know. They still get the attention, but they're still looking for that one guy, that Matthew guy, We know what's up.
Women in their pursuit of dating and relationships, time and time again, leading many to feel like they must play the game to be successful and find a mate. Of course, this outdated approach often leaves single women feeling hopeless and disempowered. But there's a shift occurring, and it's palpable, and this is not strictly an outcome of the surge of dating app usage. As women have gained more rights and are recognized as mostly equal to men, traditional gender roles and constructs are becoming obsolete. In the past, most women needed men for resources. They needed a provider. Now, with more opportunities, women have more independence and recognize they do not need men in the same way that women did in previous generations. Without such high stakes, women are raising the bar. We are no longer looking for a provider, but a partner in an equitable relationship. We want more. Yeah, and I think this talk of healthy relationships is amazing. I am all about healthy relationships. That's what I do on this channel. I'm all about making dating a little happier and healthier. The article about lonely single men stated that women want men who are emotionally available, good communicators, and share similar values. And while those three things are yes, yes, and yes, I totally agree, that's not all that women want. And I don't think that we can sit here and lie to ourselves and say that those are the top three things that women are looking for.
They don't want that. They want a provider, protector, leader of all men. Right? And it's ridiculous, right? And of course, we're talking about generalities. We're not talking here about, there's exceptions. But clearly, there's something here that this lady is not talking about. And hopefully, she can speak about. Females entering the workforce destroy the dynamic between men and females, because now the female, by nature, wants the hypergamy. So that means they want always to date up. So now entering into a situation that they're earning some money, now the guy has to step up. The thing is that in order for you to step up, you have to be close to the 1%. So you're telling me that 50-60% of guys can get to the 1%? I mean, I think there's a probability that you can increase your income, but that's the problem that we're dealing right now. Females enter the workforce and therefore messed up the dating market.
Because those are three things on a checklist of a million other things. Over 6 feet, making 6 figures, or whatever number it is, handsome. A big thing that I think these articles fail to mention is the fact that these are not the only things that women care about, unfortunately. I wish it was. As a woman, I wish I could sit here and say the only three things women care about are a guy who is emotionally available, good communicators, and has good values and morals and shares whatever with her. But sadly, those are just three things on a checklist of many other things that women are looking for. And if a guy doesn't have the other things also, the woman probably wouldn't give him a chance. Unfortunately, I wish it wasn't true, but sadly it is. These are the 10 things women want according to this lady. We want to be treated as equals, okay? We want to feel seen and heard, okay? We want our feelings to be respected and validated. We want to feel safe and supported. We want to share core values with our partners. We want to have the flexibility of having multiple identities instead of being confined to one box, wife, mom, or caregiver. We want to be a part of a conversation regarding negotiating roles and expectations within the relationship. We want to have productive and honest conversations and healthy disagreements. We want to establish mutual trust, and we want to feel emotionally connected to our partners. Okay. All fair asks to me, but sadly that's not what a lot of women want when they're looking for partners and they're choosing.
Literally all those 10 things, only one I can agree with. The rest, if you're a guy, do not follow these things. You will enter in her frame, her world. You see how she had to mention 10 things? As a guy, I don't have to mention anything. You are submissive, you're a nice fit, you bring peace to my life, I'm okay with that. And you're attractive, you can keep, after pregnancy, you can keep yourself attractive, I'm okay with that. Simple things. You have to mention a list of 10 things that, even in those 10 things, there's certain ones that already have more than one option. We're already going the wrong road.
Horrible. They're choosing men who are the most good looking, who are making the most money, so of course have more options, and treat women like crap. And then after they date the crappy guy, they're like, oh, well, all men suck, all men are trash. I want a man who treats me right. Well, you're not giving the men who treat you right a freaking chance. I wish it wasn't true. I really, really do. I wish with all my heart it wasn't true. And are all women like that? Absolutely not. I have so many women in my life who are with incredible men. They did not go after them because of their salary or their looks. But now social media is just perpetuating this, like, well, I have to live this luxury lifestyle and go after these men who make all this money. So, I am kind of happy that we're talking more about a healthy relationship and the things that should be included in that, because I think there's a big difference between standards and preferences. Your preferences are the things like, oh yeah, I would prefer if he's taller. Oh yeah, I'd prefer if he was making more money. But those shouldn't necessarily be your standards. Your standards should be how someone treats you, right? It should be the emotionally available thing, good communication, shared similar values and interests. Those should be what the standards are, right? But a lot of time people will forget their standards just to go after their preferences, which are the most attractive guys who make the most money, who, again, don't treat women that great.
They don't have to.
So it's not
They don't have to. They have a lot of options.
necessarily that, men aren't doing these things. The men you're choosing aren't doing these things.
But do they want those things? You see what I'm saying? Do they really want those things? Or they want the 1% guy that they are attracted to become those things. But then after he does those things, they end up breaking their relationship. So see, it's not a win-win situation. I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you.
Hi. Anyway, back to the point of the video. So I found this article from Morgan Stanley where I found this statistic about 45% of women are expected to be single and childless by 2030. Oh, and this is great for consumerism. This is great for business.
Yep.
Obviously. Media and social focus on gender diversity, the male-female wage gap, and women's role in the workplace has rightly been a key topic in 2019. This is from 2019, by the way. Corporates and investors are paying attention. A recent duo of reports from Morgan Stanley Research approaches this theme from two angles. First, how a growing population of prime working age women in the U.S., many single and focused on career, will have a greater representation in the labor force.
Of course.
Wages and create potentially larger tailwinds in a number of consumer product categories.
Of course, because you're not going to produce as much as a guy by average. So that means we don't have to spend more money. We don't have to spend more money on you. Easy. A guy go up in the scale of success, he's gonna ask for more money. Female will not do it. She will, if their starting pay is $25, they're gonna keep it $25 because she's not gonna ask for a raise. Simple as that, man.
In a second report, the quantitative equity research team shares a proprietary framework to help investors identify the most gender diverse companies, which tend to be larger, have better stock returns, and skew lower volatility. Combined, the two reports lay out the case that in the coming years, women are positioned to drive the economic conversation from both the inside as a workforce propelling better company performance and outside as consumers powering discretionary spending.
So basically, get ready to receive a lot of virtual signaling, a lot of gender stuff. Just get ready for that.
So it says, based on Census Bureau historical data and Morgan Stanley forecasts, 45% of prime working age women ages 25 to 44 will be single by 2030, the largest share in history, up from 41% in 2018. So this was done in 2019. I'm wondering now if it's gone up even more. I tried to find information on it, but I really couldn't, and I didn't want to pull from a source that wasn't that great. So I just stuck with this one. Single women are expected to grow 1.2% annually from 2018 to 2030, compared with 0.8% for the overall U.S. population. What's driving this trend?
Wow.
For starters, more women are delaying marriage, choosing to stay single, or divorcing in their 50s and
Look at that,
60s.
divorcing.
Women are also delaying childbirth and having fewer children than in the past. These shifting lifestyle norms are enabling more women, with or without children, to work full-time, which should continue to raise the labor force participation rate among single females. Rising labor force participation rates should put upward pressure on women's wages and help increase overall consumer spending. So in this article, they mentioned delayed marriage. They mentioned people.
And we know that females are the 80% of consumer spending in the entire world. You cannot make this thing up,
Waiting
bro,
later in
man.
life
You
to
can't.
have kids, divorce. I think a big thing also that wasn't talked about was the fact that, since women are making more money, they want a guy who is either at their level or above. But as they become more successful,
Yep.
the amount of men available then decreases if those are the things that they're looking for, which is a lot of women. I think only 22% of women out-earn their husbands at this point in time, which is not that big. I think it will increase a little bit, but I do think that there are women out there who won't date someone who makes less. Or, they have certain preferences and standards for themselves and they won't, stray from that. So you have all these women going after the same group of men, which obviously is going to be a bit of an imbalance there. And, you know,
That's include everybody. Even that's 50 to 60 years old females that got divorced, they're still looking for that guy.
Don't end up with the high earning men or the men that they want will just be single. Like, I don't think a lot
They're
of
all
people
looking
will
for the
date
same guy.
down. I've talked about in past videos asking you guys, like, what do you think the future of dating is going to look like? I think a lot of women will be single, clearly. 45% between the ages of 25 and 44 by the year 2030.
That's
Which
insane.
is a lot of people.
A lot.
You know, they're delaying marriage, they're delaying having kids, they're freezing their eggs. Everything is getting pushed back. And you know, we're not all the same. I'm not saying that there's a one size fits all or that it should be this way or it should be that way. But this is what happens when, you know, people are choosing career over family. Choosing career over family for a lot of women means earning more money. And then wanting to be with a man who earns at least what she does or more. And I've often posed this question to you guys of, if women are out earning men, will they still go after men who earn more than them if that group of men is very small?
Yeah.
Will women date down in regards to finances, or will they just stay single? I think that the amount of single people will just continue to increase, and it seems like a lot of other people think so too. Unrealistic expectations combined with hypergamy and our biological tendency to go after men who make more money are just going to keep feeding this cycle. And I think it's just going to continue to make the dating market more complicated. So, you know, as much as our society wants to talk about the rise of lonely single men, well, there's also going to be a rise of lonely single women or lonely men, whatever you want to say. If you want to say empowered, if you want to say single, I think some of it will be by choice. You know, there are obviously people out there who like to be single, who want to be single, and more power to you. If you don't want to be with anybody, don't be with anybody. I think some people are better off single, to be honest with you, after taking a look at what's going on. But there are a lot of people who want so badly to have a partner and have a family, but they're not a contender because they're not making 100K or aren't viewed as, you know, a high value man who's making all this money, or just is not making as much as their female counterparts. And therefore the women don't want to date them. Our society is just so focused on
the wrong things. I'm gonna help you. Brittany, I'm gonna help you. The wrong things. They are focusing on the wrong things.
Salary and money. There are also a ton of statistics about marriages where the woman out earns the husband and they get divorced.
Right away.
The women are less satisfied with their marriage and the men are less satisfied with their marriage when the woman is earning more money. And I don't know if, like, the norm is going to change, if we're going to see a big shift, or what's going to happen. But I think for the time being, it's just going to look like single city for a lot of people. You guys can let me know what you think down in the comments. I think topics like this are really interesting. I like looking at studies and going through them with you and kind of just having a little bit of conversation down in the comments. It's something I enjoy, and you guys seem to enjoy it as well. So if you like this video or found it helpful, be sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to be in the loop for when I release new content. If you haven't already, be sure to follow me over on Instagram.
All right, so let's look at the list one more time, folks. Okay. 10 things women want. We want to be treated as equal. Don't do that. We want to feel seen and heard. Don't do that. We want our feelings to be respected and validated. Nope. We want to feel safe and supported. Safe. We want to share core values with our partner. No. You share your core values to her. She enters your world. See what I'm saying? We want to have the flexibility of having multiple identities instead of being confined to. No. My wife is my wife. She's my woman. She's the mother of my kids. That's it. That's it. One wife, mom, caregiver. No, we're not playing that. You're mom to my kids. You're my wife. That's it. All this is all the creation of a monster called the 1960s. 7. We want to be part of the want to be part of the conversation regarding negotiating roles and expectations within the relationship. Nope. You lead. If you have balls and a stick, you lead. If you don't have that, you don't lead. We want to have productive and honest conversation and healthy disagreements. Productive conversation. So you want to fight, basically. That's what I'm reading here. We want to have productive and honest conversation. No, you don't want honesty. You cannot handle honesty. I'm very honest with my wife because I'm built like that, and it hurts when I'm very honest with her. It hurts, but then it creates a healthy environment. But I don't think the females are ready for that. Nah. We want to establish mutual trust. Why? Because you are doing sticky stuff. Trust is earned, not given. You earn the trust of people. We want to feel emotionally connected to our partner. Well, if there's no emotional connection, there's no reason to be with your partner. As simple as that. Man, I'm telling you, folks. I'm telling you. The more the females earn, the more they go the economic ladder, right? The harder it is to deal with them. And I'm a proponent of people just working on themselves. You can work on yourself. You can become the best person you can be. You don't have to worry about none of this stuff. Nope, nothing. Crazy list, man. Guys don't need lists like this. If you know what you want, you don't need none of this stuff. Insane. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, okay? You agree with her? No, not with her, but you agree with this list? If you agree, just let me know in the comment section below. I might be crazy. I'm telling you, I might be crazy. I'm crazy sometimes. Just let me know. If you agree, let me know in the comment section below. I will see you in the next one.